It has been a long time since we've really had any news to talk about with Arkham or Batman in this same way. Please ignore my horrible sinuses and bad allergies in this video. Thank God it stopped storming out, otherwise you'd be dealing with listening to nasal EJ and a storm, so now you just get the nasal. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and before I hop into this, our Let's Play channel, which is our secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, is really fun. We've been having a great time over there lately, but I know a lot of you don't know about it. It's a fun place to hang out with us, talk about things, watch us play through games, and watch live streams as well. So we hope to see you over there. The link is in the description now down below, and I will stop self-promoting now and hop right into it. Batman Arkham, we kind of thought it was a bit dead in some ways. Now, obviously, everyone knew it would come back at some point because these are massive games that make a ton of money for Warner Brothers. But with this property, you never really know what you're going to get next. I actually have a full documentary-ish style size video on this channel where we talked about Project Sabbath, which was a canceled Arkham game, follow-up essentially to Arkham Knight years later, dealing with Damian Wayne. It was Batman Beyond-ish, and it continued that timeline. But that sadly went nowhere. Then we also had talked about Arkham Insurgency, which is something that we'll talk about in today's video. And there are some more little breadcrumbs that have come out actually substantiating those rumors from back in the day. Recently, somebody, actually a couple people did, unlocked an Nvidia GeForce Now database, and they were able to find different things in there that were tied to Batman. The first one, and the one that I will run through the quickest, is Batman City Builder. This was even labeled as a working title, and it's worth noting that while this data, it is up to interpretation if it's real. We will see, I guess, in the coming months if there's anything to come out of this. We don't know if this is something still in development, if this is happening at all or not. We don't even know what Batman City Builder would be. Would it be The Sims with Batman? Who knows? Or SimCity with Batman? I don't know. It's barely worth talking about because we have nothing on it in terms of what it could be, other than the literal Batman City Builder. Also, this could have been some kind of weird development tool in some way, although I don't know why it would have a separate entry in the GeForce database. If it was, that would be something odd to be in there. There is also listings of Arkham Insurgency, which again we had talked about before. The interesting thing I do want to point out from this is that it is Arkham Insurgency, but the file is actually listed as Gotham Knights over on the right. So I think that that's worth mentioning, that if this is legitimate, it would stand to reason that Arkham Insurgency and Project Sabbath, very likely, and whatever was left over of these, were reworked into what is now Gotham Knights. And speaking of that, if you're interested in this, I've been thinking about a video talking about all of the proof, I suppose from a fan perspective, that I believe Gotham Knights is the leftovers of the previous games they were making. That this originally was going to be an Arkham game and was reworked to be a new universe. If you'd like to see that video, you can let me know down below. It's something I'm thinking about making. The main thing that we're going to be covering though today is the Arkham Knight Remaster. This is something that Batman Arkham Videos was talking about over on Twitter, and it's sort of been just the talk of Twitter and social media in terms of this leak. There was also Batman Arkham Underworld, however that was a how do I say this? That was just a mobile game originally, Arkham Underworld for phones. Not sure what its listing in the Nvidia database means, if they would consider remaking that or redoing the story and putting it in that timeline officially off of phones. I have no idea. But with the Arkham Knight Remaster, this is probably the most interesting thing here that is just the most straightforward. This would supposedly have ray tracing abilities, very likely. It is an RTX remaster, and there's not a lot that we know about it, but it does kind of beg the question, if this happened and it came from Lightspeed Studios as listed, is it something that fans want or need? Arkham Knight, as much as I love it, it is divisive in terms of the community. Some people, it's their absolute favorite, and some people really didn't like the, how do I say this? The storyline, I suppose. Some people didn't really like the inclusion of Joker. I liked him the most in this game. Some people really didn't. Unpopular opinion, him in this and Origins, my favorite in the entire franchise. But I digress. Some people didn't like that. Some people thought the storyline was more diet under the Red Hood than it was something new or unique. And a lot of people really didn't connect with the Batmobile. But those who did already have a very, very, very solid looking and running game on the PS4 and Xbox One. I do think it is a shame that that game was never enhanced in any way. It's really weird to me that if you don't patch the game, you can sort of run it in a higher frame rate on PS5, just like you could for Return to Arkham. But it was never really given official enhancements of any kind that mattered. This could have been something that was boosted, like with FPS boost for Xbox Series X. It could have easily gotten a 4K patch for either Series X or PS5 or anything. It really never got anything. Rocksteady released the game, right? Then they released their DLC. Then they moved on. They just kind of dropped it and it went away. So if they are going to do a remaster, I guess my question to you guys is, do you want that? Do you think it needs it? I've seen a lot of people talking about this and saying that they think what needs it more is something like Arkham Origins. That's stuck back, 2 generations ago? It's on the 360 and the PS3. And those of us who have a PC, which is not a humble brag, can certainly play it on that. The PC port of Arkham Origins does have some issues, but they can easily be fixed. I have a Let's Play of it up over on my secondary channel, Degenerate Plays. Again, link in the description down below over on PC, where I can play it very easily in 1440p, 60 FPS, and certainly I could play it higher than that, but that's just kind of where I like it. So it's something now where Arkham Origins is really only well accessible on PC. You could play it on PS Now, but the PS3 and 360 versions of this game, they certainly didn't age the best visually or performance-wise, and it seems odd to me to be bringing back something that already exists on the PS5 with backwards compatibility and also the Series X. Does it need performance boosts? Would that actually help the game? I think so. I think that being able to play the game in 4K would help. I think being able to play it in 60 FPS, steady 60 FPS, would help the experience of the game. But it's not going to fix those flaws for people that they already had. It's not going to fix the tank. It's not going to fix the story unless they completely remade the game, which I don't see happening. So I guess I'm not really sure how much excitement to throw behind that one. I'm not sure how much I care. The thing is, if this is made, I know I'm a hypocrite and I know that I would buy it because I love this franchise and I love how that game looks, and I can't imagine it looking even nicer. The character models in that game are beautiful. The way that the world looks is amazing. They are able to cover up a lot of the flaws of the world with the rain physics, and they could probably fix a lot of those flaws and still leave the rain physics as well in a remaster, which would just look brilliant, right? So I'm not saying that I don't want this at all, but what I'm saying is that from the standpoint of a fan of the Batman Arkham series, it does seem like this might be the least necessary remaster that they could do. I would almost rather have something like a remake of Arkham Origins Blackgate, but actually in the style of an Arkham game, like use that same exact story and change that up. I could see something like that because a lot of people really didn't like the gameplay for that game, or remastering Origins. But I don't know what to think of this, especially after the up and down effort of Return to Arkham. I think that some things in those remasters were done very well, some things were done very poorly, and it's a bit of a toss-up what looks better. You know, if you're playing Arkham City on PC, like I said, I've even done a video talking about this, there are things that will look better on the original version on PC than they do even in the remaster that came out basically a decade later. I don't think that's a good thing. That doesn't really lend a lot of credibility to I guess, another remaster of the Arkham games for me. It almost just comes across like I would rather just see this game enhanced, not resold as a remaster for more money, and then we move on to something else. I really wanted to see more story in the timeline between Origins and Asylum. I really wanted to see a future in the Arkham timeline as well, and I wanted to see things like a Superman game. I'm fine with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as well. I just don't know how excited I am for this. But I'm interested to hear what you think down below. And what do you think about this whole list? Do you think that it's legitimate? Do you think it is not? You know, it's, as all rumors, it's subject to, I guess, validity. I'm interested to hear your takes on that as well, or if you think that these are just sort of old Nvidia, I guess, archived listings that aren't going anywhere anymore. Interested on that too. And what do you make of the Batman Underworld inclusion? Because that's the oddest one to me, I think, in terms of why would this mobile game be on here? I don't really know. Interested to hear your thoughts. Please let me know what you think, and be sure to check out the secondary channel, Degenerate Plays. Again, we play through a wide variety of different games over there, and I appreciate that very, very much. And all of our videos on both channels would not really be possible without our patron subscribers. If you want to check out our Patreon, it does help us out a ton. We really appreciate it, and you do get access to behind-the-scenes videos and posts and all kinds of other stuff. So a big thank you to some of our patrons, Jonah, Seth, Ricardo, Michael, and Caleb. Thank you very, very much. I always have to make sure that I did not miss anybody in terms of, you know, calling them out. Oh, and Andre. How could I forget Andre? One of our newest patrons who's really stepped up his game. Thank you so much to Andre, too, and everybody else. I hope to see you over on the other channel and hear from you down below. And as always, everyone, have a fantastic day and stay shui.